Next up is item number 13, Water Rebate Program, high efficiency toilets, commercial spray nozzles, and smart irrigation timers.
You got me for the next two items. These next two items are very important as it relates to the city's water sources. Also in May, I brought before you an update on the city's conservation efforts. The city has, the city's customers have done an excellent job of conservation over the last few months, especially compared to the statewide average of only 5%. And so to date, I think our average is approximately 15%. So great job on behalf of the Yuba City customers. The reason that this is so important is with the curtailments that we've received on our water contracts and the fact that we're using carryover water, the majority of our carryover water this year, if we do not have rain this next winter, 2015 is going to be a significant issue for Yuba City. So anything that we can do to encourage conservation and reduce the expectations and water habits of our customers is extremely important. We're looking at potentially, if things don't change, we could be getting into 40 to 50% mandatory conservation measures next year. So this is extremely critical to the city at this point in time. So with that in mind, we've looked at programs to encourage water conservation, one of which is the Water Rebate Program. And I just want to note that we've launched an Every Drop Counts campaign. And I want to give credit to our new Public Works Administrative Assistant, Sierra, who's here in the audience. She's been very instrumental in developing the materials for this campaign and the logo and the balloons, which were very popular at the summer stroll. So the Every Drop Counts campaign includes door hangers for irrigation issues. We're offering water audits through the water treatment plant, leak detection notification every month when we read meters. We get alarms for customers who have ongoing leaks, and the only way that those alarms are triggered is if somebody has a continuous flow of water through their meter for a minimum of a 24-hour period. And then we get that alarm. So we're going to be sending out letters. We're working in conjunction with finance to send out letters to those customers to let them know that they potentially have a leak and what they should do in that situation. Don't necessarily go out and call a contractor. Call us and we can assist you with getting more information about your actual account. The next item on the agenda, the Water Smart Program. Distribution of educational materials at the Summer Stroll and Yuba Center Fair. Our new website, the Yuba City H2O. Table tents for restaurants to encourage water upon request. We have conservation kits available at our water treatment plant, and then this rebate program. So the rebate program, we're looking at high efficiency toilets up to $100, smart irrigation timers up to $75 or 50%, whichever is less, and pre-rinse spray nozzles for commercial applications up to $50. The funding amount requested is $15,000. This is funds that we have as carryover in our water conservation account from this last fiscal year. So we requested finance to go ahead and carry it over into this fiscal year for us to utilize for this program. The application will be available on the city's website. The way the program will work, we'll receive an application, staff will verify the installation and cost, and then issue a rebate. And then we're proposing that the eligibility period begin after council approval of the program. But if council wanted us to look at it retroactively to January 1st or something like that, we could do that as well. So staff recommendation is to approve a water rebate program funding in the amount of $15,000 to provide rebates for the installation of high efficiency toilets, commercial spray nozzles, and smart irrigation timers.
Questions from the council?
To the mayor.
Yes.
Diana. You sure? Okay. One of the concerns I have for this item and the next item is that it sounds like the city's already doing a pretty good job of getting people to be thrifty with their water. Do we need to spend this additional money? Not that it's a lot of money or anything, but do we need to spend this additional money to make people more aware? Is 15% not good enough?
No.
Okay,
not.
that's fine.
And I go back to my previous comments about the issues that not only were we facing this year, in terms of the governor requested a 20% voluntary reduction. But if things don't drastically change, we're looking at likely mandatory conservation for 2015. And even if we have a really high volume in terms of rain events this winter, I don't anticipate that their state water contractor or other contracts are just going to turn around and say, okay, you can have 100% of your allocation. They're going to need the reservoirs to build up over a period of time. So I anticipate that we'll continue to have conservation requirements, but also it's just changing the mindset that water is a resource and it's something that needs to be
Precious commodity.
it's a precious commodity. And when you combine that long term with the city's contracts and our ability to provide water, anything that we conserve overall saves us money in terms of treatment costs, conveyance costs, treatment at both the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant, energy costs. The less water we have to produce, we save on costs.
Sure. Now, and you said this money was a carryover from a prior year?
Last year, yes.
Okay. So it's not like new money we're trying to dig up or anything. Okay. Thank you. That was very informative. Appreciate it.
Mr.
Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
I have a couple questions. It's maybe redundant, but what is the current savings that we've been able to accomplish since we announced this earlier this year?
Average is 15%.
15%. And we had asked, we tried to get 20%,
20,
I
yes.
think is what we were looking at doing. On the items that you have listed, the low flow toilets, the smart sprinkler systems, and the spray nozzles, is there a list that's available for the public to know, or could we put that on our website so that they know what items qualify for this?
It'll be part of the application that they can download from the website. So we'll have, I know there was a concern about the high efficiency toilets and that sometimes you have to flush them multiple times in order for them to clear.
Yes.
But we will have specifications in there in terms of the types of products that qualify for the rebate.
That was my question, because it's always been a concern of mine, is that and maybe they've addressed this since they started the initial low flow toilets, but when you had to flush them 2 or 3 times to clear the bowl, to me that wasn't efficiency. That was just using more water. So, and then if we are able to reduce those savings, we have a flat base on our meters right now. And so if people are saving that money, it just means, or they're saving the water usage, but they're still paying the same amount of money as they would have if they hadn't done that. I know that we're looking at a rate study, and I would like to look at something that is a tiered rate schedule so that we can incentivize people who do conserve water, and those who don't, then they're the ones that are going to take the hit, so to speak. But right now, we're asking people to conserve, and they get no benefit from that. So it's other than the fact that next year we may have water instead of not having water, but it is important that our rate structures reflect and reward people for conserving also.
So Mike Palucci just issued the RFP, I believe, today. And that's one of the elements of the RFP for the rate study, is to evaluate that.
Any other questions? Dana, what about, obviously we're given or putting this up as a $15,000 grant, and you mentioned if we don't have any rainwater next year, Yuba City could be facing some drastic cutbacks from 40 to 50%. Have we looked around as far as people who are wasting water, or their water's running over their lawns, or
Yes.
I mean, and what's the penalty that we're assessing them at this point in time?
So we're not currently assessing a penalty, and I'm glad you brought that up, because starting next week through the end of July, we're going to be doing a very concentrated effort where we're going to be sending out staff to find people that are irrigating during the day, the sprinklers overspraying into the road or sidewalk, broken sprinklers, and they're going to be making direct contact with those customers to provide some education as to why that's a problem. We're going to be keeping logs of the customers that are contacted. And at this point in time, we're not proposing to do penalties, but if we have ongoing issues with compliance, then we'll have to look at issuing penalties.
Yeah, jail time.
Yeah.
Started. Any other questions?
Through the mayor?
Yes.
After that wonderful explanation, and I appreciate that, I'd move the recommendation.
Okay, got a motion?
A second.
Second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.